All right, welcome back to the channel, RevKev RC. I am using the microphone that fell in the water from a previous video, and after a test, it appears to be working. So hopefully all the audio from this comes out. I want to thank you for clicking on the video, clicking on the channel, stopping by and hanging out with me. This is going to be on the MJX Hypergo MJX brand. This is the H8P, the Ford Bronco R style. This is an incredibly nice truck. If you've never seen one of these in person or seen any videos on it, you get all this sweet metal drivetrain. This one's had a couple of upgrades. I would encourage you to go ahead and watch the videos that I have currently in the series. The last video I showed, and let me make sure it's lined up so you can actually see it. I showed these wheels and tires. The tires are the same ones. These are new wheels. I think they look really good, and they actually look pretty on par overall styling wise with the stock ones. And I wanted to keep that kind of general theme. So we already know that if you watched the previous video. Nothing wrong with these. I just wanted bead locks, and I put some silicone inserts in here. Another YouTuber, I think it was Mark. Let me know, Mark, in the comments. Mentioned it in a video comment, probably about the video I did just before the one I'm doing now. The silicone inserts, which I think I kept calling them green. I know they're blue. They're the blue ones. They're not green. Once you put them in there, you forget what it is. But they're the green ones. But as I rewatched that footage, you know how it goes. He said that the silicone would slide back and forth inside of the wheel. And I haven't tested them, so I don't know. I think that can largely depend on the actual width of the wheel itself and how much freedom of movement it has in there to do that, as well as the tire and all that good stuff. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there if we have to. But squeeze factor, these feel really good, and they do have that good sidewall stiffness that I'm looking to see for the climbing and side hilling performance. There are weight options for this. I'm going to hold off on that and see how it does, because it is a fairly long wheelbase. So it'll probably be okay, but we'll see. That's how it goes on the RevKev channel. We'll see. So today, much to the chagrin, what's a fun word to say, right, of some people, I got comments saying they really like the look of the tire out here because it'll perform well. And I think that they're right. I borderline hate it because I know I'm going to sacrifice clearance down here because of how much further, like how much more exposed the portal is and how much more exposed this portion of the C-hub is. I know it's going to bother me because, so I know it's going to perform better on side hills because it's wider, and it'll perform better going fast. But the reason I'm even doing this, which I'm swapping out the wheel hubs, like the actual portion that goes on the tire or the wheel for shorter ones. You'll see just how ridiculous it is when I compare the two side by side. These are like $10. I'll put them in the description. But this is going to give me what I want, I think. Just looking at them, the original ones are probably up to the end of my fingertip in length. They're very long. They're almost double that probably. But we'll know for sure because I'm going to show you. It's going to bring this in quite a bit further. It's going to tuck our portal in quite a bit further. It's going to be better. So I would, sorry, getting a phone call. That's annoying. I think I will be happier with this tucked in more. And the reason why I'm essentially going to sacrifice high speed performance, like handling, like less tips and rolls, is because I'm going to treat this more like a crawler and less like a basher, even though on 3S this thing goes pretty quick. I didn't measure it, but it'll probably do about 15, or maybe I'd say between 15 and 20 miles an hour, maybe even more. It's fairly quick. because it is a 2-speed. But I'm not going to keep yapping. I'm going to swap these out. We're going to do one side and then be able to see both how it looks. And then maybe I'll hate it and then I'll put it back. We'll see. So there's nothing to this. All I'm going to do is pop the wheel off with my Speedy Boy. And then I'm going to take the wheel, take the hex apart, put them back together. Nothing to it. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. That was very simple. I can tell you that these are interchangeable 100%. Everything lined up just fine. And that, I maybe got the truck pretty close to where it was. So you may have instantly seen the difference, but it seems like what I got is what I wanted. I got the center line of the tire. It's pretty obvious center line, right? See it? Right there. Basically right in line with the body, with the fender, front and back, right? Now I'm going to move the truck over so you can see the difference, and then I'll show you the two individual parts as well. Well, that's not far enough, is it? It's not the best representation. The camera doesn't quite do it. Kinda. So right about like that. It's leaning off to the side, but I'm forcing the body over to allow you to see it. There's a fairly significant difference in this from the center line to the fender. Let me see if I can get the camera repositioned to actually show you this, because otherwise you won't believe me. Tell you what, I bet if I turn the truck around, you'll be smarter than the inanimate objects you're manipulating. Pretty fairly noticeable difference, I would say, on where this tool falls. It's hard to do it with this isn't really showing it in the camera angle, but I think maybe it's kind of obvious. Oh yeah, how about that? I'll just square up the rear end. I think that makes it pretty dang obvious. If we look at, let's see, how can we use these to do this? Tools are fun. Let's see if I line that up. Anyway, you can see it. That's obvious. And here's why. This is the original. This is the new one. So I think what you see here is fairly obviously translating. What you see here is translating down here to the eye on the camera. Like, you can't even really see that one over here. And I know that some people really like this look, but I kind of can't stand that look on full-size trucks either when you have the tires sticking so far out, because from where I'm standing right now, trying to be square to this edge and these two edges, this tire is sticking out more than halfway, and it just looks silly to me. This, however, looks closer to how it came. We've got roughly half the tire sticking out over there. So that's what I'm gonna keep this. I really do like this look a lot better. And I don't think we've killed the side hill / high speed performance battery strap string. I don't think we killed it. This is going to let me fit into tighter places, and the thing that is very important, which is going to be even more obvious now. See if I pull the camera up hard enough. Yeah. Square that up. Just observe how much of this is exposed right here. This is the first one without the reduction. And then look at this one. How much of that's tucked in. We have way less exposed right here. This entire triangle of get stuck on things is reduced significantly. Just look at where this pivot is on either side. Let's see if I can square this up a little bit better. Just look at where the pivot is. You got a lot more exposed over here than you do over here. Now, on that, aside from reducing the amount of space for things to get caught on, we've also reduced the amount of leverage that's on these parts. So if we do hit some stuff high speed with wheels and tires that are tucked in just a little bit closer, we have less leverage against all the parts in here we are asking not to break. Now, largely a lot of that's going to be soaked up by the servo link that they built into here. But I like that a lot better. I'll fit into more places. It looks more like the real thing, the actual real race vehicle. And I'm going to do that. That's how I'm going to do it. I like it. And I'm open to hear what you think about it. I'd like to know your thoughts. Yeah, it's super obvious right there too. Yeah. This is better for me, as I'm going to use this as more of a crawler than a basher. Let's be honest. They built it with solid axles, front and rear. They gave it a hard body, and they gave it locking differentials. They gave it the 2-speed. This is a crawler that they have enabled to go fast and look like a go fast truck, but it's got 85% crawler DNA and 15% go fast racer DNA. So I'm going to treat it like more of a crawler, and I hope you appreciate what I'm trying to relay here about why I did this. I really do like that a lot better. Now I'm 100% sold on these wheels. I think this is ridiculous. Let's just measure it, and I want to show you something so you can know what you're looking at. These are the distance. Of course, this one's black and this one's silver, and you can get these in like 3 or 4 different colors, but I chose the silver because everything else under there is that color. So what we're looking at is, and this is going to be pretty standard. Let's see if I can do this and get it better in camera. A little depth gauge right there. We're looking at, we'll call that 5.5. And we'll do the depth gauge on here. That is, let's see, did I not do the first one right? Trying to it's like trying to work over somebody's shoulder and be recorded. Okay, that says 4.86, 4.48, something like that. But here's the thing, right? This number, yeah, I was right. It's still 5 something. The number, right? Let's make that longer. The height of this inner wall, focus. The height of this inner wall from this ring up doesn't actually matter. That's just how much of your hex it's going to cover. What actually matters is this inner ring and how far away this inner ring is from, got it, from down in here, where, well, this part right here, where it seats against the wheel itself. That's what matters. So if we assume that most of the time, and clearly not every time, because the depth height for this wall to the portion where the hex rests, they're not the same. They're off by something close to 1 millimeter, right? And you can actually you can see it. It's hard to tell on the black one, but you can see it. But if we assume these are usually pretty close, and there's measurements that you can compare to on Amazon, but all I simply did well, let me just say this. If you assume that this height value right here is comparable to this height value here in comparison to this depth and that depth, then you can reasonably assume that if you buy this to replace this or vice versa, you're going to get the visual change that you're looking for. I hope that makes sense. As long as these internal measurements are pretty dang close, your visual, what you're looking to achieve, should also be about right. And I think when we look at this thing, that's what we get. That is what we're seeing. I would probably call that 5 millimeters, perhaps. Let's see what 5 millimeters looks like on the old calipers. Good old Amazon special. That's 5.13. It's close enough. Let's see. How does one do this? Measuring total height doesn't do the exact same. It doesn't actually give you the exact answer. No. Let's do it anyway. We'll do from the very bottom, not here, because that goes inside the wheel. We'll from right here. We'll call that 12. And I'm going to say Amazon called this 12 too, so that might be the number they're using. I'm going to call this almost, yeah, about 20. I'm fighting it a little bit. About 20, which is what I had sort of eyeballed and guesstimated looking at these when I took them off to examine them. So that is what I'm going to do. Sorry if this has been confusing. I like this a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and swap it out, and then I'll show you what it looks like with all four, and that'll be it. All right, that's it. That's it. That was really easy. Everything fit just fine. These, well, the replacements are marketed for 1.9 and 2.2s. So I'll throw a link in the description. They're literally just called, oh, their market is 12 millimeter too. Oh, look at that. Reading is fundamental. But if you look this kind of thing up, the 2.2 wheel hub or wheel hex or something with that verbiage, you're going to see a lot of these. You'll also, of course, see the part that goes on the RC and goes inside of here, right? The actual 12 millimeter hex. So what I'm not sure that number meant, which is why I wasn't sure about the measurements, does that mean it holds a 12 millimeter hex or that they are 12 millimeters in height? Because coincidentally, it's the same. With calipers, these were measuring roughly 12 millimeters, as good as I could get them on there, and they are a 12 millimeter hex. So confusion installed from the factory. But yeah, if you look those up, you're going to see a ton of different ones. And in my experience, if they are a 12 millimeter hex and are for 1.9 or a 2.2, they're going to fit. And the only thing that could really be different is the hole pattern and whether or not this fits inside of the existing hub in the wheel. And they do. Anyway, that is it. What we got here? 20 minutes. Tell you what, I'm going to pull you out. We're going to go to the test rocks and see if we can demonstrate why technical crawling on some very angry rocks is better than having a wider setup. Wait one. All right, before I put the camera down and show you over here on the test rocks, another benefit of keeping your track width a little bit more narrow, a little bit less wide, and it is considerably less wide than it was a few minutes ago, is my turning radius. I noticed immediately the turning radius is better. It's more, it's shorter, it's closer, it's better. So as a crawler, that is exactly what I am looking for. So just by doing that, the steering performance has increased. So let me go ahead and put you down here. See if we can show some cool suspension action. Lock those diffs. And we'll see if our servo saver modification, because I haven't actually crawled it with it. So what we're looking at here is new wheels, new silicone inserts, more narrow hexes, and the servo mod. See, right now I'm trying to turn left, and my passenger, the backside of the passenger tire is bound up real good. And so I've been holding the wheel for that whole time. Turn my throttle down a little bit. Remove some of that sensitivity. Yeah, steering servo needs more. I need to check and see if I'm just stressing that spring system out or if the servo itself is just not doing it. I can see that in here in the camera. Let's get you guys in there. It looks like it's compressing, doesn't it? But right there, trying to turn left, they don't have any more. The servo needs help. It doesn't have it. But these are fairly aggressive rocks, pretty high traction, and it is bound up really good in there. So I think I'm still going to try it on the trail. Give it a shot where this isn't the hardest thing you can have it do, which I think is not very arguable that this isn't one of the hardest things you can do, is to cram your tires into some cracks and then see if your servo can lift your entire truck out of it. So I'm not writing the stock servo off yet, but I do of course have options. I think the wheels look good. The body shape, especially the front bumper, is one of the biggest holdbacks for this very technical, craggy crawling. But again, to me, this is not a high performance crawler. It's a really cool trail truck, and I'm okay with it. I wish the remote didn't make noise when you switch things, because there's no way to get rid of that. Yeah, it still looks pretty wide to me. I think I would have been absolutely annoyed had I left those wide wheel hubs on it. They really know how to make a quiet system here, though. Yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Let me see if I can drive up here for a cool outro shot. Man, that's good angles right there. Look at that stuffed in there. Yeah, I need to turn left and it won't do it. There it goes. Yeah, I need a servo that can command direction. Wow, I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? That's a cool shot. I think the foams really work too. Or I say call them foams, I'm brainwashed. The dual stage silicones. Good stuff. But I'll tell you what, we're going to call it good there. And I appreciate everybody who has stopped by for another video. This one's extremely simple, and you didn't really need this, but I did want to show the difference, what I chose to use and why, and then kind of give a little bit of performance update. Could definitely use a better servo, and maybe even just eliminating that link altogether up there for the servo saver. But we'll see. We're gonna give it some trail time before we make any drastic decisions like that, because it's a toy. I got all the time in the world. But I appreciate everybody coming and stopping by and hanging out with me for, what's this, 25 going on 26 minutes. Fairly short video in my repertoire. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Love to hear them. And we'll see you next time. Hey, if you're not subscribed, do all the stuff. Do the things, you know. Comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying. Peace.